Today I will show you how to obtain a structured hexahedral mesh in Ansys Mechanical. First, open a static structural system in Ansys Workbench. Then, import in your chosen geometry. Now let's open that geometry in Design Modeler. Now let's add in the material on Design Modeler. We will come back to this at a later stage. Now let's open the model. Once Mechanical is loaded, generate the basic mesh. This creates a coarse triangular mesh. Now let's refine it using body sizing. And choose an element size of 2 mm. Then we update the mesh. This creates a more defined triangular mesh. This is, however, unstructured. I will now show you how to create a structured mesh on this exact geometry. First we go into Design Modeler to split up the geometry into different parts. We do this by creating new planes and then splicing using the new plane. The first new plane goes below the top section. And then we generate and create a splice using this new plane. This then creates a top and bottom section. Now we do this with the bottom section again. And then do another slice. So now there's 7 new parts. Then we have to cut up the top and bottom section. We do this with more planes, and this time we use the point and edge. So I have a point there, and the edge in parallel here. Now we can do another splice. Select the plane we just made, and then instead of all bodies, we want it on the top and bottom. You can now see that they're now split with this new one and this new part. And then we have to split the rest. We do it again with a new plane here. And we create another splice, and again we select the top and bottom. Now we can split it into these corners, so we just repeat what we just did. Actually, now split these up, and one last one here. This has now split our geometry into 15 different parts, which should now all be easier to mesh instead of trying to mesh the whole part in one. Now that we've updated Design Modeler, we need to go back into our dashboard and then update Upstream components, and then reset the model as we've now changed the geometry. Then we go back and open our mechanical. Once mechanical is loaded, we generate the basic mesh. As you can see, there's already a vast improvement, although a few things will need to be sorted out. First, we insert a method onto the whole geometry. Now we choose the hex dominant method, and we leave it with quad and triangle as this is easier to implement. And then update the mesh. We now have a hexahedral mesh in most locations. To improve the quality of the elements, we do face meshing, and now we can choose all the sides and faces and update the mesh. Now you can see a more structured mesh, although the number of elements don't line up with each part of the geometry. So then we do edge sizing on the whole geometry. And we go for the 2mm element size and update. You can now see the finished mesh. It should be a structured hexahedral mesh. And you can see how the mesh lines up on different parts of the body as the different parts connect. This mesh has an element quality of an average of almost 96. You can see how the aspect ratio is almost all the elements are close to 1. And the skewness is close, almost to 0. There are other ways to get a fully structured hexahedral mesh, but I find this the best as it's quick and simple, as it only uses 3 different meshing techniques. And this is the end result. Here's a nice comparison between the triangular unstructured mesh and the fully structured hexahedral mesh. Thank you for watching.